Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number 23-CCCR-0542. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Darvin A. Lloyd. And Mr. Lloyd, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Lloyd, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lloyd, you may put your hand down. Again, Mr. Lloyd, how are you doing?
All right.
I'm doing fine. Mr. Lloyd, I have before me, well, first of all, before we get started, Mr. Lloyd, you have a right to have a court reporter to dictate everything that's being said in this session. Do you waive your right to have a court reporter? Okay. Now, Mr. Lloyd, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney and a Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea. Now, previously you acknowledged that your signatures and initials was on these documents and that you read these documents. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And everything on these documents is true and correct to the best of your knowledge. Now, you're waiving your right to an attorney. The court also admonishes you that you should be aware that there's danger to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in the worst outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities related to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status, and employment. Is that correct? And your waiver is voluntarily and intelligently made.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so you're telling the court that you want to represent yourself in this case. Okay, now, Mr. Lloyd, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about, well, first of all, it alleges that you, Darvin A. Lloyd, on or about February 11 of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Mr. Lloyd, did you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Lloyd, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd, also, I have before me, let's see, in cause number 23-CCCR0542. Well, that case is being dismissed. So I also have before me, hold on a minute, let me back up. Well, he's pleading to the next case.
Mhm.
That's not on my docket.
It was just adding up.
Oh, it was, okay. Hold on a minute. Okay. Here we go. So, Mr. Lloyd, we're gonna strike that plea that you made in cause number 23-CCCR-0542 because the state is dismissing that case. And I have before me clause number 23-CCCR-1082 And in this case, Mr. Lloyd, I think you may have to put his other cause number on this here, on these documents. And that other cause number is 23 CCCR 1082. So in essence, you're waiving, you are representing yourself in both of these cases. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Lloyd, in cause number 23 CCCR 1082, I have before me an information. This information alleges that you, Darvin A. Lloyd, on or about February 11th of 2023, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of dangerous drugs. Mr. Lloyd, do you understand what you've been charged with? Yes. And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Guilty. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Yes, sir. And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Yes, sir. Mr. Lloyd, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? Yes, sir. On page 2 of the same document, there are two sets of initials. First set of initials on a line that is titled, next to a box that's titled guilty. You place your initials on this document? Yes, sir. Also, the second set of initials is below a paragraph that is titled discovery admonishment, and your initials are on a line that states, I do not request discovery of evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in the case above, in the case, and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Are these your initials? Yes, on page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? Yes, sir. And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document? Yes. And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Yes. Okay, there are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Darwin, Lloyd, you are waiving your right to a record in this case. Is that correct? Now, Mr. Darwin, Mr. Lloyd, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents? Yes, sir. And did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Lloyd, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lloyd, the state is offering State's Exhibit Number 1 to be admitted into evidence against you. Now, State's Exhibit Number 1 is the document that has your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case? Yes. Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lloyd, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Okay, Mr. Lloyd, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case? Yeah. And what is that agreement?
Okay, in consideration of Mr. Lloyd's plea of guilty, to the dangerous possession of a dangerous drug and cause number 23CCR1082. The state is willing to dismiss the unlawful carrying a weapon, cause number 23CCR0542. Mr. Lloyd would have to forfeit his weapon, and the weapon in question is a Glock 19X, spin number BXRR489. Mr. Lloyd would also have to spend 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail Correctional Facility to begin on August the 7th by 6 p.m. Until his sentence has been completed. He has credit for 2 days.
Okay. What's the court cost?
He doesn't have any court costs.
What is it?
He doesn't have any court costs.
He does. He's, what's gonna happen
Well,
is,
he has the standard court costs. He doesn't have a fine. I'm sorry. He doesn't have a fine.
okay, it's 370. Does 370. Okay. Now, Mr. Lloyd, would you ever pay, now this jail time, well, let me do this here, Mr. Lloyd, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for the 2 days that you have already served. Court cost in this case is $370. Would you be able to pay the $370 court cost?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Now the state will also dismiss cause number 23CCCR0542 for forfeiture of the weapon. Now, before me, I have do you have a copy of the inventory? Let me do this here. There's a Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Lloyd, let me repeat this. The state is offering that you serve 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will be given credit for the 2 days that you've already served, or any time that you, and any other time that you're entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case is $370. And you stated that you will be able to pay the court costs. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. I just have to run to the bank.
Okay. And you also, this cause number 23CCCR 0542 will be dismissed for forfeiture of the weapon in that case. And I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon in that case to the Beaumont Police Department. Now, Mr. Lloyd, is this your signature on the line that's tied to defendant on this motion?
Yes.
And you're prior to signing this motion, did you read the motion?
Yes.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
And is everything in this motion true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And you want the court to grant this motion? Okay, the court is going to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. This day is the 18th. July. Okay, now, Mr. Lloyd, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd, I'll follow the people are in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Lloyd, I think the jail time is to start on August 7th, 2023 at or before 6 p.m. Our court clerk is going to give you the paperwork that you need to bring to the jail with you when you go turn yourself in on that date. And we'll also be dismissing the I'll be dismissing the companion case clause number 23CCCR 052. And I'm signing that dismissal right now. Mr. Lloyd, you can stand on the X in front of our clerk. She's going to give you some instructions. Please follow her instructions. Oh, you didn't take this. And once you finish following her instructions, and after you receive a copy of the dismissal, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
What would I pay?
To the clerk's office. The clerk office is right below here.
And I shouldn't have. How do I know when it's like 100% removed off of my background?
It's dismissed.
What you mean?
What this man?
Oh, in case to be
I
dismissed.
done heard like sometimes where I think they'll get into a situation of they'll say it's been dismissed, but they'll
You-
get caught again and it's like
You need
it
to,
was never dismissed or something.
oh, you're gonna have a copy of the dismissal when you leave the court. Okay, I'm signing the dismissal right now.
And that's only on the weapon one.
Right. The position marijuana hadn't even been assigned a cause. I'm gonna go to intake and prevent them from even.
So I shouldn't have to worry about that. Okay.
Okay. I just signed the dismissal on that. It should be printed off. You'll be getting a copy of it in a few minutes.
Yes.
Something's wrong with the printer?
Would you like this back as an example for others?
No, that's just, we just said it right there. That's what we keep them. Okay, and this will, well, do we have we got one bond forfeiture? Okay, that bond forfeiture It's called, let's see. We have calls number 23CCCR 0550. Case of Style of State of Texas versus Braylon McKay, Elton Joseph Simon. Mr. Braylon Simon was scheduled to be in court this morning for 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Braylon Simon at the courthouse door. Braylon Simon did not answer. And Braylon Simon has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 12:13 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Braylon Simon at the courthouse door? Braylon Simon's name was just called at the courthouse door. Braylon Simon did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Braylon Simon an opportunity to appear in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, statement for bond forfeiture and request that a warrant be issued.
That motion will be granted. Braylon Simon's bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. This will conclude the calling of the court's docket, the court's arraignment docket on today's date of July 18 of 2023 in County Court at Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Everyone, please have a blessed day.